Hello, everybody. All my wonderful friends I see. So, for those that I don't know, my name is Bina Sujanani Poston. I was born in Jamaica, Caribbean, and I converted to Judaism almost 10 years ago. So, as a Hindu, I can't say that I really understood the tradition very much. I just followed what my family told me to do, and whatever. I didn't make a connection with it. And in my teenage years, it was an adventure towards Christianity, and I had a lot of problems, a lot of questions, and I got in trouble and was thought to be somewhat rebellious for asking the questions. So that was a little bit rough. So I was really looking for myself and looking for my purpose, and I was really struggling. And I made a trip to Budapest, Hungary, and I would have never thought that I would find Israel in Budapest. I was very heartbroken, disappointed in the church. And I attended an expo, different countries represented, and I stumbled on a booth. I did not look up at the name of the booth, but there were pictures of the Western Wall, of that which relates to Hagim, Shavuot, Sukkot, and I just had a strong emotional reaction. I wept. This was 1995, and I looked up and I saw the word, and I said, Israel. What do I have to do with Israel? Tears are a language of the neshama. Hashem uses our tears. Tears cleanse us, but for some people who don't know a whole lot, I didn't know a whole lot about Jews or anything. I mean, by the church it was like they were the spiritual Israel. That's what I understood. So I never really thought about Jews in the Middle East. It's a place you just don't want to go. So in any case, I was really arrested by that encounter. And a couple of weeks later, I went to pray at a place called Fisherman's Wharf, overlooking the Danube. I don't know if any of you have been to Budapest, Hungary, but yes, you have been. Okay, Bina, that's great. So I was praying, and it was a February, and there was snow on the steps as I climbed up to Fisherman's Wharf. And clear out of nowhere, I can't say I've really read the Pasuk, but coming out of my own heart was this tefillah, Lord, I want to build you a house. And I said, and then I broke again the tears. What is this? I came home to what was my Christian Bible. I had a hunch that David Hamelech said it, and I found it in 2 Shmuel 7. So anyway, parked this for a while, and I didn't really pay a whole lot of attention to Israel for a couple of years, went back to the States, and then a little bit later, I was reading about the life of Avraham Avinu, and I was very struck by his emunah. I was really, really struck by it, and that served to get me motivated to come to Israel, because I remembered the encounter I had in 1995. Now this was 1999. So I actually really knew I had to do this, and I came here with 2.5 bags. And as I got out of Ben Gurion Airport in a taxi, I just said, oh my goodness, I feel like I'm home. What is this? So, okay, 2 months later, I meet a couple of rabbis, and they have an understanding of the lost tribes, and they were talking, and one of them asked me, what are your family names? I told them, Matani, Matana, Shoshani, Sujanani, Shoshan. My name is Bina from birth. My brother's name is Moti. I have a sister named Gita, and I have another sister. Her name is not so clear Hebrew. So I looked at their faces, this one particular rabbi, and I said, oh my goodness, this is serious. I couldn't handle it. It was like so much for me to think that I could have Hebrew shorashim, Hebrew roots. So I actually really, really knew in the second month of being here, I was a Jew, though not halakhically a Jew, not bureaucratically a Jew. Yes, a Jewish neshama. I hadn't even processed the whole word Jewish neshama. I didn't know what that was, but whatever it was, I felt that I was a Jew. Then I would read the Tanakh and I would see, I would gather them from wherever I scattered them, and again it was all tears. It was like, I'm on the page. That's me. Well, I don't get emotional. Anyway, Zemanish. Okay. So then, what happened next? Let's see. Okay, so I went to check out conversion in 2001. I went to audit classes, and I didn't feel ready. I just didn't feel like it was something I could do. And I kept going in and out of the country every 3 months to stay current with my visa. And a major turn happened in the year 2004. I was volunteering with ACI, and on Yom HaShoah, after the siren, people were sharing about their losses in the Shoah. I had another moment, call it an aha moment, an epiphany, a moment where eternity touches time, whatever. I had a moment that I knew intuitively that if I thought myself to be a Jew, that I had to come home all the way. And the next morning I was at the Beit Din, and I opened a file. So that was a big thing. And meanwhile, I was already trying to keep mild observances, and I met Rivka Ben-Ari, my adopted mother, and Yoni Ben-Ari. They were my family. I met them in ACI after a year of being here, and I approached them, and they were my people and really stood with me, and I really thank you for that.
Love you, Bina.
Thank you. So, anyway, now I'm in the process of converting. I'm waiting on the bureaucracy to come through. I started to learn already. I was not getting through very well. It was a really painful experience. I was 2 months shy of finishing my course. I did 8 months, but it was hanging in the balance for me to get approved by the Ministry of Interior. And it was just a no-go, and they told me to leave the country for 4 months. Now that was really very hard, because I was very steeped into being here and practicing my observance, and we had the help from the beginning to the end of E-Team organization under Rabbi Seth Barber, who did an amazing job in helping me with the whole process. But at that time in Gaza, there was an expulsion of Jews from their home. And I remember leaving here in Hol Moed Pesach. It was the 19th of Nisan. And I went back to Jamaica, and I was watching CNN, and I could see what was going on in Gaza. And I thought, this is a real spiritual experience, because I felt like I understood the pain here. You know that something is yours, but you can't have it. You can't be there. And it came to me as a spiritual moment of understanding. Those 4 months, I felt like I didn't know that I would be coming back, but I thought about Ruth in the Tanakh, and I read it several times, and I understand her a bit, because it's like, she says that, your people will be my people, your God will be my God, and she experienced the power of a choice. And I knew it would really happen at some point, but 4 months was a long time. I didn't eat meat. I mean, one of my rabbis, Rabbi Rubin, said, Bina, you're a JIT, a Jew in training. Just do what you have to do, I couldn't do it. Yes, I had salmon, I could have salads, whatever it was. I worked through that, but I remember a very heartbreaking experience when somebody told me I could get kosher grape juice from the store, Charias, and I went there on a Friday morning, grape juice, and I just walked out sobbing. It was really hard. Anyway, so long and short, 4 months passed, and again, with the help of E-Team, they paved my way with the help of God. I came back here, and it was a different type. The tables turned. From the entrance to the country, as I came through Ben Gurion, they said, "Oh, you're here, we can see you in the computer, you're making Aliyah, Mazal Tov." Oh, I said, "This is great, you know." So then I get in, and after a couple of months, I went to the Beit Din, and it was a glorious experience. They said you should have never had to have left the country, and they were very nice. They asked me questions to do with tefillah. I did pretty good there, and when I said the Shema, it was like heaven just came right down. It was so overpowering, and it's such an honor, for me, and I feel so humbled to be a Jew. And if I never accomplished anything in my life, just to be a Jew, this is the purpose of life, to connect to who we are. This is Avraham Avinu Lech Lecha, to go to yourself, because when you find yourself, you find Hashem and you find His purpose, and everything has meaning. It's not about the material things or the this or the that, but to connect to the essence of who you are. That is a Jew. It's a full-time job. Just to dedicate your heart and your love and your passion to do mitzvot. It's amazing. And another thing I want to say, this organization we formed, Yiboneh, it's coming from that birthing place of, Lord, I want to build you a house. It hit me a few months ago in Rosh Hashanah. And, my husband chose the name. I've been telling him of this vision in the 6 years that we've been married. And he said, Yiboneh, and it was right up my street. So, Olam Hesed Yiboneh. We build the world with doing kind acts. And so this is why we started this. And all of us are building something, whether we know it or not. We're building something. And we want our work to last. We want to know that what we build stands. And as we're approaching Pesach, it's upon us. Hashem should hear our groanings. To be where I was and to groan, to feel that burden of something, and to really believe that, Hashem said, I made a covenant. He made a covenant, and He will do all this. He'll take us out, He'll rescue us. He will be to us a God, and we, His people. If we would dare to apprehend these realities at a time like this, who's to tell, we could see Mashiach in our lifetime. And I thank you all for coming. It's really a big bracha, and Hashem bless you.